If you've ever wondered whether your prayers were heard, if you've ever looked at the sky and asked why nothing seems to be changing, then this message may be the answer you've been waiting for. Because the truth is, the universe never forgot your prayer. Not one of them. Even now, something is moving behind the scenes that could change everything. Take a moment and listen carefully, because this message found you for a reason. Out of all the moments in your life, out of all the paths you could have taken today, you were guided here. This is not a coincidence. There is something your soul needs to remember. There is something your heart has been longing to hear. The universe knows there were nights when you felt alone. Nights when you stared into the darkness, wondering if anyone was listening. Nights when your hopes felt heavy and your faith felt tired. You whispered prayers into silence. You carried dreams that seemed impossible. You waited for signs, answers, and change, but nothing appeared to move. And slowly, a question began growing inside you. Did the universe forget me? But hear this now. The universe never forgot your prayer. Not the prayer you spoke out loud. Not the prayer hidden behind your tears. Not the prayer you couldn't even put into words. Nothing you asked for was ignored. Nothing disappeared into the void. Every hope, every wish, every moment you reached toward something greater was received. What felt like silence was actually preparation. The truth is that life often hides its most important work beneath the surface. Just because you cannot see movement does not mean movement is not happening. Just because the answer has not arrived does not mean it is not on its way. The universe has been working in places your eyes cannot reach. It has been arranging encounters, shifting circumstances, opening doors you do not yet know exist, and protecting you from paths that were never meant for you. There were things you asked for that seemed perfect at the time. You wanted them with all your heart, yet somehow they slipped away. Opportunities vanished, relationships ended, plans collapsed. You thought you were being denied. You thought your prayer had gone unanswered. But the universe saw what you could not see. It saw the road ahead. It saw the lessons still unfolding. It saw the timing that had not yet arrived. It saw the people who were not meant to stay. It saw the situations that would have drained your spirit. And because it loves growth more than comfort, it guided you away from certain destinations so it could guide you toward something better. This season was never punishment, even when it felt difficult, even when you questioned everything, even when disappointment sat beside you day after day. The waiting had a purpose. Every delay carried meaning. Every closed door protected something sacred inside you. The universe remembers what you almost gave up on. It remembers the dream you stopped talking about because nobody understood it. It remembers the prayer you repeated so many times that you eventually became exhausted. It remembers the vision you carried through years of uncertainty. It remembers the part of you that kept hoping even when your circumstances gave you every reason to stop. And right now, something beautiful is quietly making its way toward you. You may not see it yet. You may not have proof yet. But there are pieces moving into place. There are connections forming. There are opportunities approaching. There are answers traveling toward your life. The universe has been preparing this moment for longer than you realize. Think about how many things had to happen just for you to become the person you are today. Every challenge shaped you. Every heartbreak taught you something. Every setback strengthened parts of your spirit that would have remained asleep otherwise. The version of you listening to this message now is not the same person who first made those prayers. You have grown. You have learned patience when you wanted certainty. You have learned resilience when you wanted relief. You have learned trust when you wanted control. And because of that growth, you are becoming ready for things that once would have overwhelmed you. The universe does not simply answer prayers. It prepares people for the answers. That preparation is often invisible. It happens quietly. It happens while you think nothing is changing. It happens during ordinary days. It happens during seasons that seem uneventful. Yet beneath the surface, transformation is taking place. Imagine a seed beneath the soil. From above, it appears as though nothing is happening. The earth looks unchanged. The surface remains still. But underneath, roots are forming. Life is awakening. Growth is occurring in darkness before it ever reaches the light. Your journey has been similar. For a long time, you judged your progress by what you could see. You looked for visible signs. You searched for immediate results. But much of the most important work has been happening where your eyes could not follow. The waiting had a purpose. The universe was strengthening your roots. And now, something is beginning to shift. Perhaps you have felt it lately. A subtle feeling you cannot explain. A quiet sense that change is approaching. A strange pull toward new possibilities. An unexpected spark of hope appearing after a long period of uncertainty. That feeling is not random. Your soul often senses movement before your mind understands it. The universe is reminding you that your story is not finished. The chapter you are living through right now is not the final chapter. What feels confusing today will eventually make sense. What feels delayed today will eventually reveal its timing. What feels impossible today may soon become the very thing that transforms your life. You were guided to this message for a reason, not because everything is perfect, not because every answer has already arrived, but because you needed a reminder before the next stage begins. You needed reassurance before the breakthrough becomes visible. The universe wants you to know that your faith was never wasted. Every time you chose hope instead of despair, it mattered. Every time you stood back up after disappointment, it mattered. Every time you continued believing despite uncertainty, it mattered. Nothing was meaningless. The tears mattered. The waiting mattered. The lessons mattered. The growth mattered. And now, those experiences are becoming part of a larger picture. One day you will look back and realize that what seemed like rejection was protection. What seemed like delay was alignment. What seemed like silence was guidance. You will see how perfectly certain events connected. You will understand why certain people left. You will understand why certain opportunities disappeared. You will understand why timing unfolded exactly as it did. And when that moment comes, your heart will finally recognize something it could not see before. The universe never forgot your prayer, not for a single second. Even during your darkest moments, unseen hands were guiding you. Even when you felt abandoned, you were being protected. Even when your path seemed uncertain, you were being led somewhere important. There are blessings approaching that you cannot fully imagine yet. There are moments waiting for you that will restore your faith. There are people waiting to enter your life who will remind you why previous connections had to end. There are opportunities waiting to appear that will make old disappointments seem small in comparison. And there is a version of your future self who is already grateful that you did not give up. So tonight, release the belief that you were forgotten. Release the fear that your prayers disappeared into emptiness. Release the story that nothing is happening, because something is happening. Something beautiful is quietly making its way toward you. The universe has been preparing this moment for longer than you realize. Trust the timing. Trust the process. Trust the path. You do not need to see every step ahead in order to keep moving forward. You only need to remember that you are guided, protected, and deeply connected to something greater than your current circumstances. This is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter where confusion begins turning into clarity. A chapter where waiting begins turning into arrival. A chapter where faith begins turning into understanding. And as you move forward, carry this truth with you wherever you go. The universe remembers what you almost gave up on. Nothing you asked for was ignored. Your prayer never disappeared into the void. What felt like silence was actually preparation. The waiting had a purpose. And now, as unseen doors begin to open and hidden pieces begin to align, Remember this above all else. The universe never forgot your prayer. It heard every word. It held every tear. It honored every hope. And even now, at this very moment, it is guiding something extraordinary toward your life. Trust what you cannot yet see. Believe in what is quietly unfolding, because the next chapter may be closer than you think. And when it arrives, you will finally understand that every moment of waiting was leading you here.